Hello, and welcome to the Missing Pieces Life After Loss series. Today we are interviewing Rupa Kay, who is willing to tell her story with us and share with our community about her sort of pregnancy loss and life after loss. Thanks for being here with us today, Rupa.
Absolutely.
I thank you. Appreciate it. This is a treat for us. So, tell us about. I'm just going to ask you some questions about, what happened prior to your pregnancy loss, what life was like, looked like for you then, and then we'll move into what your experience was. Tell me a little bit about your immediate family prior to the pregnancy.
So I was married at the time, and no children.
So, and how did you find out you were pregnant? Thinking.
I threw up. I threw up again, and then I threw up some more, and then I threw up, and I went, okay, that's it. That's not a hangover. It's not a hangover. I don't have a fever, so yeah.
Sorry. So once you figured out you were pregnant, then who did you tell?
First, my husband at the time, and then we told his my sister-in-law at the time as well, because she lived in the apartment complex right next to us, so we always saw her. And then we told both parents and the lake house.
Was everybody excited?
Very excited. We actually had the ultrasound picture. And of course, it looked like a little line of bean, but still. So that was exciting as well.
Awesome. And what were the events that were leading up to you knowing that something wasn't quite right?
Pregnancy. So I was very crampy. And I remember asking my gynecologist if that was normal, and he actually did say that, there could be some discomfort, but let's go ahead and check and make sure everything's okay. And then I went home, and about a week later, that's when I started bleeding.
Yeah.
Then, I immediately went to the emergency clinic.
Yeah.
And it was kind of painful, actually, because of the cramping beforehand, and then a week later, it was just massive cramping. I knew something was wrong. I knew that I was miscarrying.
Yeah, the spottage.
Absolutely. It was pretty heavy, and it was, and I hate to say this, but it was also a little heavy tissue.
Yeah.
So, and that was the first.
Yeah, so you've been pregnant more than once.
Yes.
Have all your pregnancies ended in loss?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything different about the way that the others ended?
So, the second one was 12 weeks, and that was really hard because I waited to 12 weeks. I would say maybe it was 13 weeks. So I waited till 12 weeks, then we told our family again. Everyone's excited. And then on this one, it was not painful, but there was plenty of blood. So on the second. And then the hardest one was 16 weeks. That's because I could feel, I could feel my baby's chest, and that whole instinct and everything, that just kicks in, that you're just, they always say, pregnant women have that glow. Well, half the time we're sweating. Half the time we're sweating for no reason.
But you know what? You're lighting up and you're talking about
pregnancy. Yeah, it was, and that was hopefully.
Good. So you were able to know the sex of this?
Yes. I was conned by this time. And we already get down our knees. We're just really excited. And the thing is, it's okay to get excited, and it's okay to get scared when you're pregnant, but stress will cause so many different things. And it was the 16 weeks I was getting a lot of pressure from my unnecessary comments from family members.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't do this, blah, blah, blah. You don't want to miscarry again. And it was very stressful.
Oh, so you were getting feedback from your family about what to do with the next pregnancy.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, this is a time for just you and your spouse. You know, this is time to just enjoy and, you know, all that. And it's very hard, especially coming from my background as well.
Yeah.
My cultural.
Well, tell us more about your cultural background, because your family, your parents are first generation immigrants.
I'm first generation.
You're first generation.
I'm first. Yeah. So my siblings and I were first generation here. So my parents were born and raised in India and came here when they were married. And one of the things that most people don't know is that the Asian culture, Indian Asian culture, you don't, if you're born and raised, you don't talk about sex. You don't talk about sex education, about babies, about your body. It's just not talked about. It's taboo. It's, you know.
So it's just something you figure out on your own.
You figure out on your own. And because of that, and then also on top of that is, how do you continue legacy with your family? You know, like the name, the ancestry, and all of that is by having children, right?
Yes.
You get married, you have children, and you go. And they have grandkids. So there was that mentality, like my parents' mentality, is they have self-worth with their own family, the more grandkids that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's very important
yes,
to reproduce.
absolutely.
And then if you don't, or if the pregnancy ends in a loss,
and of what happens. So just like everything, the woman is blamed. But yes, so it was my fault that I lost my kids, that I couldn't hold my babies. It was something I did. It was not something that my ex-husband, which we know that, who should talk about that, but that he did. No, it was all my fault. And my mother told us, you lost your baby because of that. And it took me quite some time to forgive her for that. But she is my mother. She's the only mother I will ever have. Right. So that is something that took time. But I did, you know, I forgave her.
So that had been painful.
It was incredibly painful. I felt...
What did that do to your psyche?
Yeah, I felt all alone. I didn't talk to her for maybe 1.5 years, 2 years. Because I don't want to hear about... I'm already blaming myself.
Right. I feel broken at this point.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And I don't need that a negative energy coming from my mom, you know, from immediate family, the people that are supposed to be there for you. Right. This very, very difficult time. So,
was she the only one that you received blame from?
Yes.
Okay.
We did not, I don't even know if my aunts and uncles know. And, you know, it's none of their business anyways. But, and that's another thing. They probably did not tell my uncles and my aunts because that's shameful.
Oh, yeah. So it could have been a secret.
Yes. So, but as time moved on, you just, you know, you heal first, you heal yourself first, then only can you forgive and heal with her.
Yes.
Yeah. And I really just want, I know that we talked about this and this is something that you're like, that's a subject that's not, that we haven't even discussed for those women out there that are first generation like me, that have that kind of cultural background, that you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Get help. Try to push that negative energy aside and understand that is just how they were raised. There's nothing that you have done wrong. And you will forgive them. It will happen. Time heals for all of that, for your loss, for your family's ignorance of what's going on. And it's it's not their fault that they're just raised that way. Yeah, it's just really hard to talk about even now, because it, you're not alone. I'm just gonna keep saying that you are not alone.
Yeah.
If I didn't have my goddad just holding my hand,
And pregnancy loss is something that comes with a lot of isolation in itself, right? Because of the feelings of being broken and embarrassed and, not knowing if anybody else around you has experienced this, because nobody's talking about it. But to have, that cultural and generational blame placed on top of it, that's like a different level that most of us don't even have to think about. So for you to process that and heal and move forward from that is like, kudos.
thank you.
Like, that takes a lot. That takes a lot.
I'll tell you right now, Tuna, I really wish you had started this back when I did have the loss, because everybody out there, you amazingly wonderful, strong women, please utilize missing pieces. That is what we're here for.
We're filling the gap, but these gaps should have been filled in a long time ago. You're right, because this is so common. We need to keep talking about it so that these next generations don't feel like we feel.
Absolutely. So I felt like I had nobody, especially with my mother, like that. I'm like, Mom, your mom should.
The one you lean into.
Yeah.
The one you look up to for guidance. How did these pregnancy losses impact your relationship with your husband?
Very adversely. Because I was being blamed at work.
Yeah.
If you didn't stress me out, why weren't you there for me? Why didn't you help me get help? I know that I was lashing out. And I did. I lashed out a lot. And it's that I don't blame myself for doing that. I do blame him for
Restart the statement.
I do blame him for leaving me at that time. But also, other blessing in disguise, he was a piece of crap. So,
Sit away.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And life moved on. And now I'm in a wonderful relationship. And, he has a son from a previous woman. And so I get to hang out with Jackson. Constantly him.
That's really great. Can you tell us more about how you were able to move on from the lawsuits?
If it wasn't for my goddad, Bear, I call him Bear, baby Bear. If it wasn't for him, I had a lot of suicidal thoughts.
Oh, wow.
And so if it wasn't for him getting me in the car and take Lou to go talk to someone every single day, I don't know if I would be here right now talking to you guys. So please accept help. Don't sit in your room by yourself in the dark. You can grieve however you want to, but definitely get help, because I literally would not be sitting here talking with Philip. My new thing.
Do you find that talking about it is healing in itself?
It is, but it's been so long. It's been since 2010, so what? Yeah, 13 years. And I'm still, and I'm still getting like, not dry heaves, but that kind of like warmth that comes over you that you're just like, whew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you never do heal. Right. Never do heal, but you do move on.
You learn how to move.
You learn how to move on. And, I always say this. I'm like, I get to see my babies when I'm dead. They'll be waiting up there and they'll
be the first people to greet you. The first people to greet you.
I get to see my babies. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you were telling us a little bit about what your life looked like after the last. You have a boyfriend?
Yes.
And with son?
Yes.
What else is great about your life right now?
I would say the forgiveness with my family has completely healed and allowed me to move on and have a positive outlook on life, and that, hey, it's okay. So all the women in my family, so my mother, my sister, and I, were early onset menopause.
Okay.
So I'm in menopause now.
Okay.
And that hurt, yes, because that was last year. So I was perimenopausal and then went into menopause. And I remember when I was told that, like when I got my well woman exam, I was like, oh yeah, I figured that. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay that I don't have that chance anymore because I have Jackson.
Yeah.
So, and then I have my friends' kids. I mean, I'm the cool aunt. It's even better.
Man, that is so
Yeah.
much. That's a way
I get
to
this-
like put it into the kids' eyes.
I get to sugar them up. They love me for it.
And then ship them
And
right
then
on back
ship
home.
them off to their parents. Yeah, look at you. So, and so those are the kind of things that I like to focus on. It's not about what I can't do. It's what can I do, you know?